And thanks for joining us from Rev Rates and Bohn's Elite Training inside of Howell Lanes in Howell, New Jersey. These are our championship matches for our U18 boys and U18 girls. Lena Kratzer, Sydney Bohn for your girls, Crouse, Bockstie for your boys. Now I gotta get somebody in the union, give him credit on his CV and everything. Got a new sound engineer in the booth. Hey, I'm $2 Phil Brylow bringing you through our 4th and 5th championships of the day, as we have some serious talent out here once again. Boy, we thought we saw talent in the U12 mixed finals and those U15 girls and U15 boys finals. We just wrapped up the U15 boys. Mel Sim taking on Jaden Eng in that final to take home a $1,000 scholarship. 18U girls bowling for $1,200 and $2,000 the top prize for the U18 boys. And almost $20,000 in total prize. They only took in like $16,000 in entry fees. And they're paying off almost $20,000 in prizes thanks to all the great sponsors they've had for this event. Of course, the biggest since day one for this Parker Bowl, the third scholarship tournament, has been Brunswick. You've got Manchester Accounting. You've got Buddy's Pro Shop. You've got the brands of Brunswick. You got I Am Bowling. You have Rita's Italian Ice. And others. I can't see the banners to mention. It's been a long weekend, and I apologize to those that didn't make my oral list, but it's on the PB3 website. And once you're done, you can check out all the results. They'll have all the prize fund listings, all the results, all the brackets for you at Parker Bohn, the number 3 that is, ParkerBohn3.com, and I'm sure we are going to have Parker Bohn back in the booth for a bit. I know we're going to have Justin Bohn back in the booth. We may even go 3 wide with a Brandon Bohn sighting. I'll let the 3 of them go give you guys all the info on what's going on in these matches. I'll be more than happy to steer a camera here or there. Speaking of steer a camera, we probably should work on steering a camera or two. As the crowd's starting to fill in here in Rev Rates. It's been a long day of bowling for these players, especially those that had to come through the contenders bracket. They started 9 hours ago and bowled at least 8, if not a dozen games to get here.
Lena Kratzer is the tournament leader for the winners bracket part of the U18 girls. Sydney Bohn has come out of the elimination part of the finals. Therefore, Sydney has to be the first match is the then you have one more match if you have for the title if you should go that far. Each match is 2 games total pinfall. And on this side here, Ethan Crouse is the sole survivor in the winner's bracket there, and Jake Bockstie is trying to come out of the eliminator bracket. Therefore, he would have to beat Ethan. The first match will start things off once again. Should that happen, they will get another 2-game total wood set to determine the eventual champion. Should Ethan or Lena win the first match, then at that point they will be crowned the champion. So right now we have about 3 minutes left of practice, right before we start things up. And then both of the leaders will determine who is going to start or finish the match.
All right, so you got the breakdown there from Parker. Kratzer and Crouse, your undefeated players coming into their respective finals. They win this 2-game total pin match. They're done. That's it. Championship crown, they take it home with them. if Bohn or Bockstie win their opening 2-game match, that throws a loss on each player. And then we will go to the, if necessary, match, make it necessary, to determine our champion with an additional 2-game total pin match. I tried to convince Parker to make that, roll off at 1 loss apiece to make it just like 3 frames or something. But he goes, no, we got to be fair to the kids. It has to be. It's Parker. He's always fair. Ask his children. He's fair to all of them. He loves them all equally. Well, that's what I have to tell Brandon Bohn. I can't tell him the truth, but as Brandon sits down next to me, come on, you've worn headsets around me since you were like 12 years old. Remember the first time you sitting in the booth with me in Farmingdale, New York at a PBA 50 event, you and your brother. You know how these headsets work.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like you don't.
Is it on?
Is it on?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear you? Then it's on.
I think so. I think so.
If you hear you, it's on. If you hear me, it's on.
Yeah, well, I thought I could put it on the left side instead of the right side.
Well, if you flip it 180 degrees and move the microphone in a different position, you can do that. Except you should really turn the other way. Except you should really turn your slider all the way down because not everybody can hear your microphone moving.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. It wasn't too bad.
All right.
So
I usually keep things on the left,
That's same here.
Yeah.
So do you golf lefty or righty?
I golf lefty, but I don't play
Okay.
golf. So
Okay, I golf righty. Bat. Did you play Little League?
I do, and I couldn't hit it off the tee, so I quit.
But what did you hit, lefty or righty?
I did hit lefty.
You did hit lefty, okay.
Yeah.
I tried lefty when I first started golfing. I found out I was better right-handed. I could switch hit playing baseball. I couldn't switch hit as well as my wife. My wife, when she played fast pitch softball, was quality switch hitter. If she would have chosen to go to college, she would have had a Division II offer, but she didn't want to go.
I only play pool righty.
See, I play pool lefty.
I can. But
I tried
I'm
playing
not very
guitar.
good
I
at
tried
it.
playing guitar. Oh, I was terrible at playing guitar. So, and then because you have to restring everything. We're all not Jimi Hendrix, and we try to play guitar and just string everything backwards on a Fender Stratocaster. So, but 2 of the greatest guitarists of all time, left-handed, Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix. One of the greatest bowlers of all time. 2 of the greatest bowlers of all time, left-handed, Earl Anthony and your dad. 2 of the greatest home run hitters, left-handed. I can't remember who they are.
Must be something good about being left-handed, Phil.
I enjoy. It was really funny. And when I was a kid, all of a sudden there was like a study that they supposedly did that said like left-handers died like 8 years sooner than right-handers, but I think that was a lie.
I think that's a lie.
On lanes 3 and 4, and on lanes 1 and 2. Lane is going to start for the girls division. She is going to start on lane 1. So this is our final match, at least what I'll say the 2 leaders are hoping for the final match. With that being said, how about a nice send-off for our final 4 competitors? Good luck, athletes. Go well.
All right, so you heard Parker there. You've got Lena Kratzer, one of Bowler X's staff stars of tomorrow, stepping on lanes. Of course, one of the staff stars of Bowler X since the inception that I've seen with Bowler X was Parker Bohn III. And we're going to start with Ethan Crouse. And this action is going to be fast and furious. And we are underway. Except their graphics department not doing their job. Let's get you over to Bockstie. Hey, urethane off the left side. That's not a surprise this weekend.
There's a
for
shocker,
the players.
right?
Yeah.
Jacobs had a pretty good day. He won his first match, then lost his second match. He split in the 10th of game 2 to lose his match, and then he's ran the losers bracket. So he's had a long day. His only break was between rounds 3 and 4 when everybody had a break. And other than that, he's been bowling since round 1 this morning.
Who's going to go first here? We're going to look. If he's a gentleman, he'll defer to Bohn, and Bockstie is a gentleman, defers to Bohn. I like to see chivalry. Never a bad thing on the lanes. If you know what's good for you, Bockstie. And Bohn goes high. Now, fresh application all 4 lanes, even though we haven't used 1 and 2 all day. Fresh application of the lane pattern for these players.
We will see how it all culminates, but Phil, this is it. This is what everybody's living for. They want a chance to bowl in the title match, and although we have 2 matches going on simultaneously right now, both the U18 girls and U18 boys division, we'll see how this all unfolds right here in front of us.
Ooh, and Bohn slides behind.
Think about this as like a scratch and handicap. Or
You can say that, but I'll tell you right now, if you go talk to the ladies over there, we'll see what they got to say about handicap.
I don't want to see the butt whipping marks you're going to have on your way back from saying that to the ladies. My goodness.
we used to have scratch and handicaps all the time before age divisions. So I think that's what it used to be like.
Yeah.
Now we'll just say boys and girls.
And that would be a really good definition, or men and ladies.
Young men and young women striving to do their best on the lanes.
Sydney not off to the start she was hoping for.
No, I don't think so right at the present moment.
Crouse doesn't take a lot of time on the approach, seems to focus, know what he wants to do and get there, but unfortunately for Crouse, airmails.
I wonder, is it Crouse or Crouse?
We need to check with Justin because he's the man I'm counting on for all the proper pronunciations.
Find that close there. What a great shot for Sydney.
It is Crouse.
It is Crouse.
Okay.
As she converts the spare.
So Crouse looking to stay even in that match.
Looks like he does. Very well done.
And Kratzer looking for an early 11-pin advantage. As we go to the wide shot here.
I think she'll take a 2-pin only on that one and just move right along. They appear to be a little bit tighter for the ladies over there on 1 and 2 than what they've been bowling on. But that being said, obviously it was a fresh application. Ethan up here in the 3rd frame.
Shot there on lane 3.
Boom.
Pretty solid strike there.
Yeah.
And Lena filling the frame. You know, I'll tell you what, I've watched Lena bowl the last couple of matches. She's not giving anything away to anybody.
No.
Chris DeSant from Bowler X supports her, obviously has worked with her and given her quite a few lessons, and she's doing a really, really great job there when I can sit there and watch Lena go up to the foul line. She's got a solid foundation, fills frames, and keeps her ball very, very much in play, and her hand is perfectly behind the back of the ball.
And she doesn't really have a whole lot of expression when she comes back off the approach. It's usually the same almost every time.
Well, she's letting her ball do the talking for her.
That she is. So let's take a look at how these bowlers got here today. As I mentioned earlier, Jake is coming through the losers bracket, lost his 2nd match, won his 1st match 472 to 344, then fell to Jesse DeCone 429 to 411. And starting in round 3, he went to the losers bracket and had 453 to Maxwell Benware's 418. Then beat Micah Voorhees, past champion, 471 to 429. Then beat Jesse DeCone 461 to 422. Then had a big match, 523 to Sean Bucks 341. And then beat out Joseph Dominguez in the match right before this.
And that match wasn't very high scoring, if I remember correctly.
No, we don't have a score currently. We can get that.
Yikes, and Crouse again. Not even close to the head pin.
It's the same exact lead that he had the last time on that lane. A little bit perplexed right now, but he'll take the frame filler and move along.
It's not just the bowlers going through transition right now. I'm going through transition here, keeping up with 4 players at a time. I haven't had this all day. It's kind of fun.
Makes you
Here
think.
we go. Oh, yeah, I am on my toes right now, let me tell you.
As Ethan gets up to shoot the spare on lane 4. Back-to-back 1-2-8s.
Converts it well. Yes.
All right, Ethan's road to the finals, 456 to 447 over Ian Harmon. 429 to Michael Martin's 330. And he took on Jesse Tacone, 466 to 361. And beat out Joseph Dominguez, 444 to 370 to make it here in the title match. Will have to be beaten twice for Jacob to win the title. Ethan only having to win once.
Well, at the present moment, Ethan really likes this left lane.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
does.
saying that he really likes the right lane yet, but he might want to get to that one in the front if he's going to improve his score.
Well, we were talking about how earlier players need the 70-foot lane on occasion when they missed to the right, but of course here at Rev Rates, the official USBC 60-foot lanes are installed. Parker, did you ever bowl in the 100-foot lane when it was in Reno?
I did not, and I should have, because I was not the guy afraid to throw it firm down the lane. Although I have no idea how much oil they had or how long it was, but
I heard there's a center now in Oklahoma that has a 100-foot lane.
maybe someday when I go through there, I'll test that
Yeah,
out. But right now, I got to be honest, we're watching Jake Bockstie just shred the rack there and put the head pin back into the 7 and said, I'm not worried about a 100-foot lane. I'm worried about this lane right now. Great shot over there by Lena.
All right, let's take a look at how the girls made it to the finals today. Lena Kratzer, the 4th seed from qualifying, defeated out Amanda Morris in the first round, 378 to 359, and took on Morgan Winchell, 337 to 289. Then beat Sydney, 412 to 394 to make her way here. And then Sydney's road looked a little different. She did not have a bye in round 1. She took on, I'm just going to say Savannah, because I don't want to butcher the last name.
Yeah, please don't do that.
And then Amelia Lemanowitz, 465 to 375. And then Eliana Ochino, 491 to 414. And then, as we mentioned earlier, lost to Lena Kratzer, fell into the losers bracket, and she took on Eliana Ochino again in a close call in that match, overtaking Elena by 4 pins.
Yeah, once
335
again,
to 339.
That was another low-scoring match. So both of the players getting here from the advancers bracket or the eliminator bracket really worked hard to get here through that last match.
Still finding trouble on that right lane. 7s must be wild. Back to back to back
so far
7.
he's made them, so we'll have to see how that falls out. Sydney's certainly struggling right now over on 1 and 2. Through the nose for a baby split. 6 count spare. Going a little high for the 4-7, making that. And now double wood baby split, followed up by a 4-6. So
Good spare on lane 4 for Ethan.
very good spare there for Ethan. So hopefully things for Sydney, she'll settle in here a little bit more and get a little more control of the pocket. Meanwhile, Elena, once again, has 5 clean frames with only 1 strike. So that tells you she's keeping her ball in play, obviously getting the 1 in front. She does have a baby split up there, but she made that pretty convincingly, so she's doing the right thing. Ethan's probably thinking right now, can we bowl on lane 3 only?
Only lane 3.
Only lane 3.
And another ball left for Sydney Bohn.
Sydney on the struggle bus right now.
Yeah, she needs to figure something out or try something here very shortly.
On the other hand, Jake Bockstie
Wow.
is not on that bus.
He's not.
I'm kind of man crushing right now on that shot. That's pretty impressive.
I don't know.
That messenger.
That looked like a replay of the last shot on that lane.
Oh man.
Back-to-back messengers on the right lane.
I'm getting a bit for Klempt over here.
Well, guys,
Wow.
I'm going to let you call this match right now.
All right.
Go do a couple of other little things here in the background. So
Appreciate it, Parker. Thanks always for the time. I know you're busy running around, and there's a lot of things going on. And now playing dad is really one of the most important ones right now.
Dad or ball rep?
Oh.
Yeah, maybe a little
Double
bit of
hat.
both. Yeah.
Double party hat.
Oh.
All right,
almost gets another one.
My man crush is over. You can't carry those all the time. My man crush is going to quickly end. And there's your scoreboard for Kratzer and Bohn in the 6th frame. So you see the big lead that Kratzer has right now. Crouse and Bockstie basically. You got a 19-pin lead for Bockstie, but that can get cut away by Crouse pretty quick, and that's a way to cut your own lead down. The errant toss.
As we mentioned earlier, Lena has not had a problem filling frames today. When you look up at her score, see a lot of spares, and that's what it takes to get through these matches. You don't need a lot of strikes on the girls' side. She has 1 strike through 6 frames and currently leads by 34 pins.
Crouse wasted no time. Let's get over to her. 7th frame and insta-high. And lucky to be just the 3-pin.
Crouse looking to step on Jacob here and take a 13-pin lead going into the 10th.
Kratzer defers. Crouse.
Oh, and a trip 4.
And a backdoor trip 4 on top of it. That was some authority on the top of that 4-pin.
That was a little quick on the trip 4. So he sits down with a 13-pin lead, and Jake is looking to cut that. He's looking to get the lead back to his side of the camp. Ten
goes late, but it goes. Doesn't seem happy with that particular shot.
Too thrilled on that one.
202, the maximum here for Sydney Bohn. And it's still that maximum after that 7th frame strike.
All right, a 7-pin the last time on this lane, back in the 8th. Let's see what he can do. First shot on the 10th. Oh, and another messenger.
Maybe the man crush is starting again. I wish I could do that once in my life. I mean, I know you can do it all the time. That's fine. You're Brandon Bohn. You're an anomaly. You're a unicorn. I'd love to be able to just throw wood like that one time in my life. You don't know what it's like to be a commoner like me when it comes to bowling.
Well, everybody likes an anomaly every now and then.
It's pretty good with a side of mustard, I've heard.
Must be.
There's a
Jake
double in
with
the
the
10th.
rip of the rack. Double in the 10th. Takes back the lead.
Hold on.
Jake forcing Ethan to show up if he wants his lead going into game 2 here. And it looks like Lena is still up by 33 pins over on the girls' side. So the boys match a little bit closer than the girls. But as we saw earlier, anything can happen.
We're gonna get a little chivalry here. We are gonna get a little chivalry. How about that? As Kratzer steps up. Her 8th frame. Roll it. Not this time.
Jake finishes with 226. Very nice game. And Ethan is looking to take a 14-pin lead with all 3 in the 10th. How about that? We don't see that all the time there, Phil. Shooting the double wood straight.
Yep.
And still makes it.
It's kind of an interesting route to go. That's
Still
one that always
clean.
scared me when I was
Still clean
younger.
for 8 frames. And Ethan gets them all to fall for a 4-bagger. First shot in the 10th.
8th frame for Kratzer. Kratzer, bam! Making it happen. Telling you, somebody needs to make like just a device you could stand on your lanes with you and just set your bowling ball on it, spins it clean, gets all the oil off of it in like 30 seconds.
So you don't have to do it?
Yeah. Like, you can just be a portable stand. I was talking with your brother about this before. I said it's my $1 million idea. I'm not an engineer, but I think you'd sell enough of them, especially old guys like me. I'm not going to shammy the heck out of my equipment every shot.
Especially on a urethane ball, Phil.
Right. Well, I don't throw urethane.
Well,
I would, even if I was still bowling, I wouldn't be throwing urethane.
good point.
Mainly because I'm pathetic and weak with my 390 rev rate. And 17 mile, the key, 16.5 to 17 mile an hour ball speed with that rev rate. Yeah, I'm not throwing urethane.
You're the common air, Phil.
Yeah. Well, if I unretire, I'll have to come out here. You can give me a lesson on how to be a lefty using urethane.
Sounds good. You can come down here to Bones Elite Training and get yourself
I know.
a lesson.
This should be the perfect. This would be the perfect place to go.
Maybe a little far, but
Hey,
it's worth the drive.
if I unretire next year, I will bring my bowling equipment with me, and you can work with me for a little bit of time before. We get things going for the 25th, the silver anniversary next year of this event. As we get a look at all 5 lanes here inside of rev rates. 4 lanes in play, of course, the 5th lane being string pins. I loved bowling on those last year. I'd love to be able to do that again next year. Didn't bring any shoes or anything with me this year. And the flat 10.
So looking like Sydney's going to be in the 170s here. She's going to fall to Lena. Just depends on how many.
Let's see, Bockstie should defer because they're a few frames behind.
Cleans the 10 pin up for 171.
It just sounds different going through the pins.
That it does. Sounds strong. And 10 back again for Elena. Expand on that lead. It's going to be in the 30s with one more game to go here.
go to the wide shot for the fill ball. Or pardon me, 11 shot for Kratzer.
Now in the two teens, looking like it's going to be a 40-pin lead for Lena going into game 2.
Thank goodness you're marking the final scores down, because I'm juggling cats over here, and I don't even remember what the boys' scores finished up with.
So Sydney finishes 171, and Lena finishes with 212, so a 41-pin lead for Lena, and 226 to 229.
Ooh. And Crouse
lead for Crouse.
finding a world of hurt.
And that quickly goes away with a 6 count on a spare here. And with the GSX pin setters, we don't usually see a whole lot of pins bounce out here. So if he hits it on the inside of either one, the 4-7 or the 6-10, they could connect, but gets 2, and it's going to fall early in game 2 here. Jake finds a lead sitting down on the couch, as we would say. Usually it's the bench, but today it's the couch.
The cozy confines of Rev Rates. Meanwhile, over to Bockstie looking for the early double. 4-pin just says, not this time.
And the head pin doesn't want to help either.
Look at how pretty that is.
It is
The
pretty.
mask units are great. Of course, you got the Bohn's Elite Training and Brunswick banners down there as well.
That brings up a good point. Let's give a shout out to our presenting sponsor.
Oh, no.
Not only this year, but and the past 23 years that we've had this tournament here at Howell Lanes. Our presenting sponsor, the Brands of Brunswick. We can't do this without them, so we appreciate them and their support. And everybody here at Howell Lanes who helps us put on this event. And all of our sponsors.
Kratzer, she's got hammer in hand, and she's looking to start grabbing some nails and nailing the door shut on Bohn early on here in game 2 with the 41-pin advantage.
Now lead already gaining early in this game 2 here.
Look at the focus. Just nice steady head all the way through. The fluid arm swing. Oh. Can I switch my man crush? Is it okay? That's just impressive right now. That is a direct line to the pocket and a darn powerful strikes ball that Kratzer is throwing right now.
And they're all high flush. All high flush and all 10 in the pit.
I don't want to say it's mandatory double time for Sydney Bohn, but you got to do something to start putting pressure on your
Need
opponent.
some help here. It starts with one like that.
Yes, indeed. She's walking back like her brain hurts from just having to think so much on these transitions today, and I'm sure all these young players feel that way. It wasn't an easy pattern to keep up with as the day progressed, and we saw that especially in the most recent championship, the side that U15 boys, they were working hard to try to figure out what that transition was going to be.
And I think they're a little different in here for Ethan than they were out in the 7 to 32 bay. Every time I looked over at Ethan earlier today, he had a bunch of strikes. And Sydney puts together a double of her own, trying to stay alive in this match. For those of you that are just joining us, Lena has a 41-pin lead after game 1, and Ethan Crouse has a 3-pin lead after game 1. And Ethan and Lena need to win once to win the title. Sydney and Jacob need to win twice as they made their way through the elimination bracket today.
Oh, look at that go down. That's pretty.
Lena trips the 4-pin to extend her lead to 21 pins just this game. Extend her lead to 62 overall.
And Crouse can't take the 4 down. Kratzer's just putting on a clinic on how to play this pattern. Well, even if it's on the wrong side of the lane, it's still a clinic.
And I think that's the first time I've seen her smile today. She went Brooklyn.
You got to take the breaks and run with them.
Whatever it takes to get them all to fall.
It's a USBC rule. Once that ball leaves your hand and it's a live ball all the way down lane, you must mark that score on your scorecard at the completion of the shot. And boy, for Cindy Bohn, she's starting to play catch up here. Problem is, her opponent's not letting her pull the car up too close. Get a hop, a skip, and a jump, and it doesn't happen.
It tried.
It did. These young men, they know what they're doing when they step up and they approach. It's like all of a sudden the young lady's already done, and the boy's up there. And, okay,
no time.
No time. We're firing.
Well, when the opportunity arises and the time permits, get up and make a pass.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, and the fry game
bus there on the 10 pins.
Yeah. The fry game might be running a little big right now inside of Sydney's brain.
Might be an early night on 1 and 2.
Oh, she's gonna need a lot to happen here for her to come back right now, especially for the fact that Lena has the front 4. But it is bowling, and we never know.
That is true. We almost had a, what was it, Phil? A 70-pin deficit come back earlier today.
Yes, indeed.
With 3 frames to go, it was about 20 pins. So he made up 50 pins in 5 or 6 frames. So
he was hoping for an endless 10th.
It was. It was.
Well, let's see if we can get the Jason Couch parlay on the crossover. No parlay. It's still a quality.
I like the way you said that. The Jason Couch parlay on the crossover. Is that because Jason went Brooklyn at some point when you watched him?
Some point?
Oh, he would never do that, would he?
Some point? I'd have to get my flow chart out the number of times we see it. We could do a Venn diagram between Jason Couch throwing crossovers and wins on the PBA Tour. We probably can make a Venn diagram, and there'd be a nice little fin. Wow.
Wow.
That's
not something we see very often.
I was just going to say, that is not something that I've seen from this young lady the whole tournament. So the fact that she has a fairly insurmountable lead right at the present moment, I'm going to say she needs to put that frame behind her and just focus forward.
Ethan has yet to throw a strike this game in 5 frames. He's going to need some help here.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Ethan right now, I'm going to use these next 5 frames to start moving around, because Jake looks like he's fairly lined into the pocket, although he may not be striking. But Ethan has to figure something out here to start creating some sort of shape or making his ball go through the pins in a way that's going to show some score.
That he does, but with that 9 count, he's only down 16 in the 2-game total wood. So,
which is really amazing, because Jake has hit the pocket every shot, I believe. And Ethan, looking at the scoreboard, may have only hit the pocket 2 or 3 times. Well, another frame filler.
alrighty, with any chance here, Sydney must throw the next 2.
to say that's a pretty good one right there.
She's got to be kicking herself for the 2 10-pins she's missed already this game.
Well, if she lives by that motto, if you don't leave it, you can't miss it.
That is true, but add another 23 pins, and we got a closer game here.
Jake looked like he moved a little deeper on the approach that time to allow the ball to retain a little energy going through the pins. So whether that was a miss or intentional, let's just say we're going to find out here over the next couple of shots. Close again.
Oh, and it shims. All right, giving herself a chance.
She is giving herself a chance. There is still some light at the end of that tunnel. That's right.
And Jake wants to take this to one more match.
He sure does. Looking fairly convincing right there. Pretty good shot by Lena.
Lena's getting into it now. She's giving it the fist pump.
Well, she's realizing that she's got 3 frames left. She's got a pretty good control as long as she doesn't have another, let's say, 5th frame show up there. So if she just does the right thing, the match is well within her hands. I'm going to go on a long shot and say that Ethan needs to change balls here.
And another Brooklyn.
Another Brooklyn.
It's been a long day for these players in both these divisions. They started over 9 hours ago with practice. I mean, the mental fortitude you need to keep going ahead in this tournament and make those moves and that kind of thing. It's exhausting just thinking about it for me, let alone these players have been physically throwing the ball for 8, 10, 12 games already.
It's exhausting just watching. Yeah, I mean, I got to give props to all these parents who come to these tournaments week in and week out and just sit in the background and just watch their kids ball.
Oh, my.
I'm not sure how they do it.
Oh,
I think I was falling asleep about 4 hours ago. Luckily,
you're lucky I wasn't throwing M&Ms into your mouth.
You're right.
Luckily, out of nowhere, I just got a revamp of energy and gonna make it through until the finals.
I saw you sitting in a chair a little earlier, and your eyes closed, and your head snapped up, and that was kind of like your wake-up call.
Yep, that it was.
Great shot there for Ethan.
How about a lucky bounce?
Well, for Sydney, it's going to be a 2nd place finish. Still, overall, it's been a really great weekend for her.
And an honest assessment from a couple of the games I saw when it was down to 4 players, it's the spare shooting kind of bit Sydney a little bit.
It did. She's in the position she's in right now because of some spare shooting, and she knows that. Fully well aware of that. As Jake gets up there and throws a pretty powerful rip in the rack strike there. Phil, while you said thanking a bunch of the parents, or Brandon, maybe you had said that about the parents, I want to take a second here to thank all of the staff that's helped us behind the scenes. Robin, Larry, Brandon, I'm going to thank you. Obviously, I need to thank Justin as well. The entire staff here at Howell Lanes, the people that have taken care of overseeing all of the merchandise and the things that we had going on there. Jeremy was in here at some point helping us out, and we know that he did a lot of work behind the scenes as well. Yeah. And probably the most important person, by all means, that has put all this together, my wife, Leslie. So it's just unbelievable that I'll say, show up here Thursday night at 8 o'clock after driving home from Florida and walk in and have everything pretty much set up so that all we had to do was turn the switch come Friday morning and let everybody go get it. So thanks to all of the great staff that's made this all possible.
You could use the term almost flawless if you were a parent, if you were an observer, if you were a bowler, on how things went with this event again this year. Smooth, squads running on time, everything's going in and out, bowlers are happy when they're leaving if they didn't bowl good. Almost flawless. And if there was a flaw, I didn't see it. Somebody'd have to be picking it apart, and that's not right if that happens. Because you guys bust your tails to put this event on for a bunch of kids and over 200 entries, smiles, happy parents, even if the kids didn't bowl great. It's so fun to see, Parker, the attitudes when bowlers are done. Even if they didn't bowl good, they still walk out of here with a smile.
Well, there's
in a lot of cases.
Obviously the team that we have, set forthright has enabled and allowed all that to happen. But the other part of that team that's not directly related to our team, but we are all in this together, it's the team here at Howell Lanes. Okay? There's staff, the people behind the desk. Obviously, Mike has been here endlessly all weekend to make sure that the machines are running proper. He's taking care of oil in the lanes, putting out the patterns, making sure they're strip and re-oil so that we can keep things on time. And Phil, that makes a huge difference in any event, especially when you're oiling the lanes more than just in the morning. When you have a multiple number of times that machine needs to run up and down the lanes, I'll say we together need to make sure that it's all hands on deck. And the Howell Lane staff here has certainly done an incredible job with Neil and Charlie and all of their people that work here.
And there's the last shot of our
victory lap for
champion.
Lena. Outstanding bowling for her this weekend. Well, I think I have to go grab a microphone for some announcements here, but when I say that, I will be back here come the final match in the boys U18 division, guys.
Yes, indeed. Thanks again, Parker, for everything. We'll see you shortly.
And as it's over, there's the infamous 6. And Ethan's going to have to regroup here.
Yep. We're going to the if necessary. On our boys final. There's the handshakes and the hugs for our girls championship. And the trip 6 there for Bockstie. That comes away. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a breather now because we're going to have the awards presentation for our U18 girls. That is completed. With Lena Kratzer, your champion, Sydney Bohn, your runner-up. And our U18 boys, if necessary, match is necessary, and that will be back in just a few minutes. I'll be here. Brandon Bohn will be here. Parker Bohn will be here. Justin Bohn will be around somewhere.
We may have a special guest pop in.
We may have another special guest pop in, so
you'll have to come back and join us to see who that is.
So we'll be back with that in just a minute.
That's the completion of our first round. And as you can see, Jake Bockstie bowled a very impressive 464 over Ethan Crouse with 406. So that will make one more match here, the final match in the U18 boys division. Both of you players will get 3 more practice shots on each of your starting lanes. You can change surface, do whatever you would like to do to try to figure something out, to either maintain your pace or come back at that point. So you can practice 3 more shots on each lane and change your surface. Meanwhile, over here on the other side, it was Lena over Sydney in one match being victorious. So we will say, let's give a round of applause here for Lena, our champion in the U18 girls division. Boys, you can continue your practice at any time. Need to make sure we have this proper. That check is officially yours for the rest of your life. Okay? We hope it helps for school. We know that Dad is going to enjoy that, and Mom, when it comes time to actually sign that dotted line. So, it should make the ride home nicer. Sorry. So right now, we're going to bring out Sydney. So Sydney, second place finisher, Sydney Bohn, right now, everybody. Way to go. And our champion, earning $1,200, nice big check, and a wonderful, beautiful bowling ball here. Lena Kratzer. Congratulations to you. We can come up here and take a picture, and then we'll let you talk. Lena, what do you think here? You know, you kind of ran through the field, and now obviously you stood tall here for one match in the rev rate side of Howell Lanes, but I think there's a couple people maybe you want to mention or thank along the way.
100%. My dad, first off, because he brings me to everything and sacrifices all his weekends. Chris Desant and Lisant from Bowler X, they help me with everything. And just all my family and friends at home cheer me on.
There you go. That's what matters most. Okay, your family and your friends, and obviously your dad sitting here in the front row. I, by all means, will tell you he's been your biggest cheerleader. So this should make the ride home that much sweeter. So for you, congratulations. And I'm going to cross my fingers that maybe we'll see you here next year. Sounds great. All right, everybody, have a nice hand for Lena Kratzer once again.
Our awards presentation in the books for our U18 girls. And Lena Kratzer, our victor. And as Tom Petty once said, the waiting is the hardest part. And that's what our young 18U boys are doing right now, is they are down to 2 games for our championship. Ethan Crouse, Jake Bockstie, both with 1 loss after Bockstie took the opening 2-game total pin match here inside of Rev Rates. And now Bockstie looking to make it 2 match wins in a row. And odds are in his favor. 2 of our most recent champions did come back through the contenders bracket to win. We will have to see how this match turns out. Practice finishing up, lane choice will be made, and myself and Brandon Bohn, Parker Bohn, and any other Bohns we may find to come in the booth. We'll be back with you shortly here from Rev Rates, inside of Howell Lanes, inside of Howell, New Jersey, inside of this great country, the United States of America.
elected to start once again on the left-hand lane. And Jake Bockstie is going to be the opponent. They are both even. It is one more match. 2 game totals for the title. And the first place check of $2,000 to the winning champions. So gentlemen, when your lanes come on and you are all set, good luck and good bowling. Everybody, how about a nice send-off for our final match for the day?
All righty, Phil. Here we go with our U18 Boys Championship match.
I feel like I've been juggling cats with watching 4 lanes at a time and switching between them that last match.
Now you only have 2.
Now I only have 2. And now, whatever fell in front of the 10, I think it was a 6-pin kept the messenger from falling for Crouse. As we are underway, and it is just our 18 Boys Championship. U18 Boys Championship.
And this place is getting to clear out a little. It's going to be very, very quiet in here come a few minutes.
I don't know about that. I think there's a lot of hugs and stuff going on, but I think there's still a lot of people here very interested to see who's going to be taking home this title for our U18 boys.
Jake starting just as he finished. They're throwing 10 back to start off game 1 of match 2 here on lanes 3 and 4. Looking to take home the first place prize of the bowling ball and the big check of $2,000. And this is Jake's first time bowling this event. He's looking to come out 1 for 1. And starts out with the double.
Checking the footwork on the way back. How many times do you do that and then actually look at the sole of your foot and go, yeah, there's no dust or anything there. I didn't step in anything. Yeah, it's just something to make you feel better after your timing's off a little bit.
So Ethan looks like with the ball change here on the right lane, it looks like he's moved a little bit further right. Putting 10 back on the right lane. Now, staying with the teal rhino on the left lane.
Now, it'd be funny if it was the original teal rhino, because that would be older than him.
Yeah, more than likely. More than likely.
I never had a teal rhino. I had a teal buzzsaw back when Brunswick used to make the lane 1 stuff back in the day. And then I met Richie Sposato once, and I didn't throw buzzsaws anymore.
But Ethan throws a buzzsaw.
Oh, yeah.
Not the teal rhino buzzsaw, but he throws a buzzsaw.
Do you remember that bowling ball brand that was out for a while?
I wasn't even a thought out.
Lane 1.
I wasn't a thought when that ball came out.
So, yeah, I threw a couple of them, like I said, and then I met Richie, and then I realized, wow, Richie's a pretty unique human being, and I'll just leave it at that. But I did not purchase any more buzzsaws after that. Oh, finally. This is like the catch of the weekend here.
Well, this is the special guest we were talking about just a few minutes ago, and if you're still joining us, here she is.
Leslie Bohn.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
Oh, it's been a heck of a weekend again, and a fun one, too. Thanks again for bringing me out. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for spending your holiday weekend with us.
Absolutely. Couldn't imagine spending it anywhere else with such a great family, with your family, but all these families that have been coming in, and it's just such camaraderie everybody has that the kids are all talking with each other, the parents are all talking with each other, and they're comparing notes from different trips and tournaments and that kind of thing. But they always seem to get to this tournament, and there's always smiles, and they're always looking forward. And I'm sure they're already asking what's going on for next year, the 25th, the silver anniversary.
It's crazy to
next
think
year.
that next year is going to be 25 years. And I know amongst our family, we've already been talking about the different things that we may be able to do to just make it that much more special. So stay tuned.
Flat 7 there for Bockstie after the front 3. When does the planning start going into the 2024 edition?
Tonight.
Tonight.
Tonight. Tonight when we get all done, we go over some notes and see what we did good and good and bad, and what we can do better. And I think
I don't know what you could do. I mean, I use the term almost that's no longer almost flawless on the score sheet for Bockstie, but I use the term almost flawless. I mean, squads on time, everything moving smooth. Families having smiles while they're waiting in the check-in lines and everything. I'm using the term almost flawless for how everything has gone through this weekend. And it showed with the bowlers' reactions and the parents' reactions on their experience here. It really did.
It's been fun to talk to so many parents who have, made the decision to spend their holiday weekend here with us and support their children, and just the statements that have been made in the comments and the thank yous, and what an amazing tournament this has been, and how much fun it is to have seen our children step up and play those important roles in this tournament as tournament directors, and getting scores and helping with the raffle and getting our event ready by putting up signs and setting up tables and just pitching in wherever they need to. And it's definitely been fun to see them grow from a player into the other side of this.
it's definitely a different aspect, I will
This
say.
this is the umpire you're going to be helping to take over Sunday. You're going to be the one most likely running the 50th anniversary of this tournament named after your dad. Think about that.
If we get that far, I think Justin will take a bigger role than I will.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you're going to be bringing your 7 kids and your wife here for for that. I mean, you gotta keep your mom busy with grandkids. She's got to have something fun to do.
it's true.
Why don't you finish college first?
Yeah, I was going to say, not too early. I was going to get into that. I'm like, I know, looking down the road somewhere.
Yeah.
It's true. But I
could
like
see the fear in your mom's eyes when I was talking about that. Going, no, not now, not now,
Not yet.
now, not
Not
yet.
yet.
I want grandkids, but not yet. Even I'm too young, not yet.
Yeah. I like my duties of going around and getting the scores and, handing out the score sheets, but I'll let Justin take the rest of the roles.
Yeah, unbelievable the job that Justin has done this year. It was probably about 4 years ago. I'm thinking that Justin was about a junior in high school, and he said, "Hey, Mom," he goes, I want to help this year with the tournament. What can I do to help you?" So I had him come into my office, and I said, "Well, this is what Mom does. We have to make an entry form. We have to mail them out to all the different centers, and once they come in, we have to have a system to process, be it money orders or checks or cash. We have to order trophies. We have to, all the details." And he said, "You do this all by yourself?" I said, yeah, I do. And we were in Lakeland, Florida this past week watching his dad bowl the PBA 50 event. And it was such I like to use the phrase, an aha moment. Justin came up to me and he said, "Mom, I realized something." He goes, "Things that are really, really amazing and awesome and fun to be a part of are a lot of hard work."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "You're right." I said, "Things that look seamless and look, like they just run smoothly take a lot of work behind the scenes and a lot of preparation, and there's a lot of things that are done prior to the day of the tournament that make things look that way."
But there is.
And it doesn't happen in a day or 2 days or a week or a month.
No.
It takes, as you said, and Brandon might not be joking with, it's going to start tonight probably with a powwow around your dining room table with everybody involved in the tournament coming over.
Yeah, and it's not often. We have found ourselves, the cliche statement, "We're all busy." Well, I can assure you, I fit right into that. We are busy, and to have all 5 of us around the same table is not something we see very often. So I will cherish that tonight, because tomorrow morning these 2 boys will be back off to school.
That we will be.
That's right. Yeah, the classes will begin again.
Yep.
So Crouse trying to get back close in this match. That's not going to help the cause.
Back-to-back splits on the left lane, and he's playing these lanes completely different now. He's using a Quantum Evo response on the right lane, playing super far to the right, and a Teal Rhino Pro on the left lane, playing a little bit further inside. Gets 2 for 113 in the 7th. He falls pretty quickly to Jacob Bockstie here in game 1.
These GSX pin setters are really pin eaters. Once a pin gets in that pit, it does not want to bounce out.
They're very loud. They're very loud. And in a space like this, I think they just make them even louder. So, and back for Jacob. Putting a triple up on the board.
And he's making a run. And that's the thing. When you get that momentum swing after you win that first match, you're coming out of the contenders bracket, all of a sudden, hey, I got a really good chance to win that title. They just seem to be on a roll the last couple of matches. We saw it in the U12 girls, or the U12 15 girls and the U15 boys, where all of a sudden the first win was had, and all of a sudden just watch the momentum go.
Brandon, how many times has Jake bowled this tournament?
This is his first time.
Wow.
His first time ever bowling here in New Jersey, and that one's a little left. But leaves a 3-9, makeable spare. Yeah, this is his first time. And I saw him bowl at Junior Gold. He was on my squad, and we bowled next to each other very often. And I told him, I said, what are you doing Labor Day weekend? And he goes, no, I don't know. Well, I told him, hey, why don't you come down to Howell Lanes, bowl in my dad's tournament? He goes, I'll think about it. And
it's a good thing he thought about it.
Yeah, and his dad's here, and he's got one of his buddies cheering him on and helping him out. So, and I know his mom and his other sister are probably watching at home. He's got another sister here watching as well. So the whole Bockstie family, I'm sure, is tuning in. They're not here. They're tuning in online on YouTube somewhere in La La Land.
Well, thank you to Phil for making this available for everybody to tune in and join us this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. I'm having so much fun with this, with the families that come in, the kids that come up and say hi, and watch some of the stuff I did in the past with Extra Frame and Flow Bowling, and it's just it's a cool event to be part of, and it's fun to show off the kids and to show them off in a professional manner with, this is a TV-like production. We've got cameras. You can see the kids' faces when they're focusing on the approach and all the different angles. So it's fun to give them that full professional, almost under the TV lights appearance, because the first time I met Parker in person was at a TV tournament I did back in Wisconsin. And it was a tournament similar to this where just everybody came out. It was a good tournament. Families came out. They raised a lot of money. The prize fund was really huge. Parker got the ice bowl, which was in Sheboygan, which is not as easy as it sounds. It's not easy at all. And, he saw that. And then a couple of years ago we were talking about getting me out here for this. And, schedules got in the way, and then COVID, that kind of thing. But we kept sending equipment out so Justin and Brand could do it. And then finally everything meshed, and you guys are kind enough to make sure I can get out here and get home. And my wife loves watching it from home, and she knows that, sending me out for a weekend, it's for a good cause. It's for a great cause. So, and I just love showing off the new talent. I mean, A.J. Johnson won the tournament that Parker was at.
Oh, my gosh.
And the funniest quote was Parker was handing him the trophy. I was interviewing the two of them, and I go, Parker, what do you think about AJ's game? He goes, I'm glad I'm going to be retired from the tour before AJ gets out there. Well, obviously, Parker still hits a few regular tour events here and there, but yeah, it was kind of funny where, Parker could see the talent. You can see the talent in these young players.
Yeah.
Somebody like a Jake Bockstie and Ethan Crouse, they could be out there on tour someday.
Yep.
Okay. How do you carry the 510 like that? Please, Unicorn, tell me. They both fell to the left for a left-hander.
Oh, we should ask Jake that. He's the one throwing that ball. But,
yeah, it's a lefty with urethane. You're a lefty with urethane. Just tell me there's a secret behind that. There has to be.
That is true. I think we should ask his dad. I want your opinion.
He doesn't know either. He's probably not left-handed with a 600 rev rate.
What's the secret to Jacob's success? I know, tough question. It surely isn't his father. Hard work and practice. I love it. Without a doubt, I love it.
Who's his coach at home?
Danny Wiseman.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, rough coach there.
Rough coach there with Danny
Wiseman.
Wiseman.
Yeah.
Danny had a nice showing in the Villages on the PBA 50 Tour. Always good to see Danny. The couple events he takes part in, and I've always had great conversations with Danny. I know for a couple of years we were trying to do the same thing, get me out for his tournament when I was in Maryland. Is he bringing that back at all? I know he's retired and in Florida now, but
I don't think so.
think
I'm
so.
not
Okay.
sure.
I haven't heard anything about
Yeah.
it coming back, but
I would love for it to come back.
I
but-
certainly wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
No. The tournament or the place that he had it at, unfortunately closed.
Okay. I remember that he
I
had a
do
mad
know that.
scramble one year
Yeah.
to relocate with like 2 days' notice,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Brandon, we had some success at that tournament.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking about before.
Do you remember?
I do. The day before his tournament. So his tournament used to only be on Sunday. And on Saturday, they would have a PJBT, and one year they had an adult junior. And me and Mom decided to lace him up, and
Well, hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. We decided to lace him up after you sat at the kitchen table and reminded me that there was nobody for you to bowl with. That you would ask this person and this person and this person, and I'm looking at you going, I wouldn't mind bowling with you.
Hello. I'm
Do
Mom.
you remember?
I don't remember that one. But I do remember holding the trophy at the end of the tournament.
I don't remember that one.
There you go.
I do.
We did.
Yeah, we did. We ended up winning that one, and then I think the next day I finished second.
I think you're right.
I think that was that year. So
Well, somebody that's going to need a lot of work to hold a trophy right now at the end of this. Well, he's going to be holding a trophy. It just may be a bowling pin instead of a bowling ball. Is Ethan Crouse, because 170 is going to be down by 55 at a minimum after 2, or after the first game in this 2-game total pin match.
you know, getting back to real quick, I just want to get back and highlight. One of the coolest things I think about having you here this weekend, Phil, is for all of you guys that are guys and ladies, men and women, boys and girls that are out there watching. If you were a bowler this weekend at all, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I think one of the coolest things is no matter what pair you bowled on, it was brought to you by a live stream.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because actually we have to kind of thank Bolero for this because this summer they had the Bolero LBC National Championships in the Milwaukee area where I'm from, and they brought me on board and contracted me to live stream those LBC National Championships. And I know Brandon and Justin now both big fans of Trey Heinrichsmeyer from Wisconsin, who won the Open Classic division of that event. He's going to be bowling in Portland as well. And it was neat to be a part of, but I had to pick up additional equipment to cover 44 lanes at Bolero. We covered most of the 48 side. It's an L with 24 on one side, 40 on another. They had the Peterson on 16 lanes, or on 18 lanes is the Peterson, 4 lanes is a Lumberjack. And then the other side was used for the LBC National Championships. And so expanding that really, for Bolero, really helped me bring in more stuff where we could be. Last year was a scramble to get set up here on Sunday like that. Today is like, this is a breeze. This was easy. We're fun. We're set. And everybody got to see every frame pretty much of every game all the way through the weekend. It's great that family and friends from afar are able to do that.
Yeah,
And
so if you made a split, if you sent an atomic messenger, if you left a 5-7-10, if you left this or that, you can go back on any pair, any game, and go back and find it all on YouTube.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of the kids that clip out their stuff and share it out there, because that's how more people know about the tournaments. Especially, I was talking to a couple of young players yesterday because they're going into college and going for marketing. I'm like, look at social media things, that type of thing, and you look at what happens with the sport of bowling, where you guys clip and share, and that's how all of a sudden people find out more about these tournaments that are going on that they may not know about, and they share this information with friends. You've probably got at least a dozen entries this week from people that probably just networked with each other and never knew about the tournament, just like Brandon was saying here about Bockstie.
Yeah.
And here you go, come on out, bowl, and there's entries coming in that way as well. So yeah, it's pretty neat to see how the young players share their love for the sport of bowling with each other, which we couldn't do Unless we were
Right.
sending each other the news. What are we going to do? Send each other newspaper clippings and Polaroids? I mean, that's
Right.
about all we had back in our day.
And when we took pictures, we had to take it to Rite Aid or Walgreens
Oh,
to
I-
have our
I was a photomat guy. I love me a photomat. There was one right by my house.
get our film developed and wait to see what kind of pictures we got.
You ever do that thing where you find a rotary phone and set it in front of your kids and just go dial this number?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
There we
Phil.
go. Yeah.
Way before my time.
So,
But anyway, getting back to real time
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
but you guys have taught me what bowlers are looking for when they're getting events covered like this, and that's what we need to do. We need to make sure all these lanes are covered. You just can't cover a pair or two.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bring in the interest. You get everybody watching everybody, and all of a sudden, something happens and somebody shares it, and this happened, and all of a sudden the word gets out a little bit more.
Yep.
So there's a reason why it's called going viral, because it just starts to spread, and it's really cool. And my eyes and ears are open every time I come to tournaments like this, because it's going to help me do what I do for my tournaments back home better. I run some high school events. I run a couple of youth events a year. Chuck Gardner and Parker were helping me out at a youth tournament we did in April in Milwaukee with a team tournament. We had pros pair up with them in the finals. Trey Heinrichsmeyer was one of the kids on the winning team that got the bowl with Packy Hanrahan.
Oh, so
It was pretty cool. But it's learning about the things like that, going to other tournaments, that makes it better for everybody. And I'm sure, Leslie, you've talked to other tournament directors and get ideas and
yeah.
share things. And
I think what's been fun about our event, I think with all of us being competitive and passionate in the game, there's things that we've learned from every event that we've gone to that we have spoken about and said we want to add that to our event and just take it to the next level, raise the bar, and hearing parents compliment the event about it being on time and how well ran it is, and everything just seems seamless. And so keeping our eyes and ears open to the events that we go to and say, ooh, we like that trophy, or ooh, I remember years ago, Brandon, you and Justin said, can we have a big check at our tournament? And the kids would come into the tournament office and they go, ooh, there's that big check.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's one of the coolest things is the check and the trophy.
Yeah.
In the tournaments that we go to, we only get the trophy nowadays. And, not a lot of tournaments are doing the big checks. But I think when we started the big checks, a few other tournaments hopped on that train and said, you know what, I think we want to do that too and add that to our tournament. So I remember, telling you that.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago now, but I think that's one of the coolest additions we've added, not only with the trophies, but now you get a check too.
Get a check too.
So
we got a match again, don't we?
We do.
that we do. Jake Bockstie putting up a double in the third and fourth frame, but Ethan Crouse not going away just quite yet, starting out this game with the front four. Jake had a 58-pin lead after the first game and is now cut to 24.
It's just amazing watching wall shots where the 5-pin just basically vaporizes back into the left gutter for a player like Bockstie. I mean, that 5-pin was just gone when the head pin came off the sideboard.
Working on a double. This is a big shot here. Let's see if he can connect for a triple. Good shot from Bockstie. All 10 in the pit. And we got ourselves a match. Ethan Crouse is not going away.
Just want to say I complimented Parker before on your choice of lighting and sconces and stuff here. I love Edison bulbs. So cool.
Nice.
Oh yeah. And
Thank
how
you.
well lit. I don't need to bring any extra lighting in here.
Good.
It's beautiful. You could almost do a TV show without any extra lights inside of Reverence. I
Nice
love
shot.
a well-lit bowling center, because what's the worst thing is you're at the foul line, all of a sudden your lighting changes, your eyes and your retinas kind of mess with you a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, nothing's messing with Ethan right now.
Right.
Starting out this game with the front five after bowling 160.
And I got to throw it out here because I do it for all my live streams at home too with 10 on the Deck Productions. If somebody throws a 300 game during a stepladder final or a championship match, I throw an extra $100 in. So we'll throw an extra $100 scholarship in here if Crouse can take it the rest of the week. Or Crouse
Very
can take it the rest of the
nice.
way. So yeah,
Thank you so much.
absolutely.
Let's go, Ethan.
Yeah, that would be super cool. I think that's what we should add next year.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, 300 game bonus. We didn't have any 300s this year.
No,
Thanks,
we did not.
Thanks to me and my black cloud.
Oh.
See, I'm a
Oh.
I'm a black cloud. I'm an absolute black cloud this weekend. At least it wasn't a stone 8 like I did to somebody yesterday.
Well, Jake had the front 8, and he's solid 8.
But he's a lefty. Yeah, he's a lefty. But that's, I mean, okay, solid
Maybe.
8, stone 8. Stone 8 out of a righty.
Maybe a little different.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I stopped him, too, by accident. So, yeah, I was the full black cloud on the commentary this weekend. Hey, somebody's got the front bunch. Let's get over to him and strike central him. Let's ruin hopes and dreams for all young bowlers. Thanks. Way to go, $2 Phil.
all right, Bockstie.
I should have waited till the 8th frame to say it.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, I should have waited. It's all my fault. Send your emails to $2 Phil at philbrylo@10onthedeck.com. Oh,
that was a good shot.
Bockstie with the ring at 7.
how low and fast can a 4-pin go around a 7 without like a vortex sucking it in the pit? Because that's
He's
what
had
should have happened.
a lot of those today where he hit the pocket and ring 7 and ring 7 and the messenger missed and flat 7. So let's see.
Couldn't
if
have
he
had too many of them. He's bowling for the title.
Well, that is true.
Hold on.
He has had some trouble shooting some 7-pins today, but that one barely holds on.
The IBM tail of the tape there is 63 feet and a 1/4 inch.
Just enough.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
enough. So Bockstie still has a 24-pin lead with 4 frames left.
That's how bowlers get gray hair. You can see how many 7-pins I converted that way over the last 5 years of my career.
I won't say anything.
You don't have to. My hair shows it. Get a little
Oh,
help.
and a rip the
my
rack.
Goodness.
A rip the rack.
He's going to make him earn it, huh?
Striking the 7th. And Ethan Crouse is going to need to put a few more strikes up here on the board to cut this deficit down another 10. Still anyone's game here. That looks like it might need to hook. Oh, and the 10 falls late. Good break to leave the 1-2.
Much rather shoot the 1-2 than the 1-2-10.
I would much rather shoot that. So still a max of 267 with the spare.
You saw the glance at the scoreboard. Not sure if that's always the best thing to do before you shoot a spare.
And with throwing them all in the 8th, 9th, and 10th, he'll even get a Century Award. 167 game 1, 267 game 2. And that'll give him a chance here.
Absolutely.
Can you still print those off at bowl.com? Print off
Century
those
Awards?
awards?
I think so.
Yeah. I remember printing out a 182 triplicate award and almost giving it to Chris Barnes in Shawnee, Oklahoma a couple years ago. I thought I had it in my hand. I started walking up to him, and then I thought better of it. Uh-oh.
Brandon, it was so nice to see Neil Feingold here yesterday.
It was one of our owners, longtime owners.
Yeah, he was here for the 4 o'clock squad. I saw him come in and talk to a lot of the families and players of the Howell Lanes bowlers that were here.
Super cool. We don't get to see him a whole lot around here anymore, but it was super cool to see him come out and for all that he's done here at Howell Lanes.
Uh-oh.
To make not only this event possible, but every event here at Howell Lanes possible. And along with the other owner, Charles Anderson, we can't thank them enough for allowing us to spend our weekend here at Howell Lanes.
Neil's father was the original owner here. Is that what? Do I have that correct?
There was a family that owned the bowling center for 1 year prior to Neil's dad purchasing the center. So back in 1957, Neil's father purchased the bowling center. So the Feingold family has been part owner since 1957.
Wow.
Yeah, Neil and Charlie and the entire staff here, huge, huge supporters of youth bowling and really allow us the opportunity to put on this event each and every year and just be a part of the future of the sport, which is really, really cool.
As you hear in the background, a bonus. Back-to-back 7-pins.
Parents can be the harshest critics sometimes. And trust me, even when you get to be my age and your parents are still around, they're still your harshest critics. I'm sure I'll get production notes from my mom or dad. Well, not my mom, but my dad will give me production notes. Once it was
Is your
done.
dad in this field as well?
No, but my grandfather was. My grandfather was in the early days of television back in the 40s and 50s in Milwaukee.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's been in the family for a while.
All right. Well, that looks like it might do it for Jake Bockstie as he strikes in the ninth.
It's got to be mandatory strike mode for Crouse now the rest of the way out, correct?
Yeah, it's gonna get he needs them all to have any chance, but that chance is very tiny right now.
There's your result.
Well, a little light that last time in that lane, and then probably made the adjustment, and now a little high.
And another 3-6-10, back-to-back 3-6-10s, and I think that's going to wrap it up. Jake Bockstie will be your 2023 24th annual Parker Run III U18 boys winner. Coming out of the elimination bracket in round 2 this morning.
Long day.
A lot of bowling.
9:30 bowling started
9:30
today?
start time, and this will be game 18. I only know because I did it a few years ago. I think that's what it is. I believe it's 18. I believe this is round 9.
Yeah, it's 16 for sure, if not 18.
Yep. So and Jake was the #1 seed in qualifying, and he's gonna finish #1.
Yeah, I remember he came out of the gates with 279 yesterday, and then pretty much used the last 4 games to double that plus 79 total in the plus 160 range. And he didn't let an early loss in the bracket affect him too much. He got a little bit of a break and got a bowler who struggled in that first contenders round bracket match he had. But after that, I think it was like 460s and 470s the rest of the way out for him.
Yeah, he had one match that, it was over pretty quickly. He had 520 against another bowler's 340. So that
Great
one
shot.
match, he got a little freebie the last game or so. But I love that Ethan never gave up in this second game here and brought it pretty close within striking distance.
Absolutely.
And he's going to walk away with the second place finish at this year's U18 Boys Championship.
So that early 5-bagger to take a lead that was 60 pins almost and knock it down to almost nothing, give you that little glimmer of hope. It just goes to show you never give up until the math says it's done. There you go, the hug, the handshake, and now the victory lap for Bockstie. You should get like a 10% finder's fee or something like that for, recruiter fee for bringing him in
I
to the
think
tournament.
so. Yeah.
At least, maybe at least, a fruitable or tropical
something.
smoothie or.
Go-gurt? Do I hear go-gurt?
I don't know. I think fruit smoothies and acai bowls are kind of my thing.
Okay.
I mean, I think a go-gurt will do. But
Those used to be your thing a long time ago.
yeah, a long time ago.
My wife, actually, we don't have kids, but my wife found these Go-Gurt frozen pops that we now keep in our freezer, and they're pretty tasty. And it's better for me, a little more healthy for me than flavor ice or anything like that at my age. So there we go. We've got
Congratulations.
trophies to give out. Leslie, thanks for coming in the booth for a
Thank
little
you
while.
so much for
Appreciate it.
having me. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
And we're looking forward to the 2024 edition.
With 427 to Ethan Crouse at 399. How about a nice hand for Jake Bockstie? But at this moment, we're going to start off with our runner-up finish. Ethan Crouse, you led the tournament. You were in the winner's bracket the whole way. Unfortunately, it didn't unfold the way that you wanted it to there at the end. But I say this honestly, we have a second place finisher in the pin. And what do you think? You have anything to say about the way those two matches went or your day went?
Well, today went a lot better than the matches did. Just wasn't playing the lanes right.
Well, one match sometimes can get the best of you, but I'll say this, you kept your composure, and although things did not go the way that you wanted it to, you know what, as a fan in the back and someone that ran the tournament, I'm very proud to watch the way that you handled yourself and the fact that you went through the field pretty much the whole day.
Thank you.
Okay?
That means a lot.
Well, you're welcome. Anybody else you want to thank out there?
I'd like to thank Dave Blanca for everything he's done for me and my parents.
Good deal. Well, Dave's a good friend of mine, so I'm sure he'll appreciate that. So congratulations again. Second place finish this year. Everybody that you required along the way.
Could have waited. Jake. Could have.
And our champion. You know, watching him bowl all day, unfortunately he lost the match earlier and he went the long road. He decided to go in the loser's bracket there, and really, I'll say it was a test of time. The semifinal match before you actually came over here, that was survival of the fittest. There wasn't a whole lot of strikes being thrown on that pair there, so you hung in there. But then when you came over here, you kind of figured things out. So our 2023 champion with the bowling ball, and obviously the big check. Who wouldn't like the big check? Jake Bockstie for $2,000 in scholarship money. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Jake, watching everything that you did, what do you think you feel was the key to success for you today?
Just throwing good shots. Didn't make many spares. Yeah, just throwing a lot of good shots. Being accurate.
It looked like you had the lane under control. Your ball got to the pocket a fair amount there. Even the match that you struggled a little bit over there, it seemed like your ball figured out a way to get to the 1-2. So anything special with that, or just the way that you seen the pattern?
Just a lot of surface. That's all. No, it's just a lot of surface.
Okay, so a lot of surface. Your ball started up early enough, and obviously it already was changing direction, getting to where it needed to be.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, it looked pretty impressive for sure. Anybody in the back there that you want to make sure that you give a shout out to?
My dad, Big Stucco. My sister for coming out. That's about it, yeah.
How about anybody else over here?
That's not my mom. But she did travel up here to watch.
Well, okay.
Okay.
It's not mom. That young lady, she honestly came here to watch you, and she's been sitting behind there rooting you the whole way. So
Right.
that's pretty cool.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Definitely.
And the big little guy back there. There you go. He had the purple hammer. He was throwing it too there. So congratulations once again. Everybody, congrats to Jake Bockstie, our 2023 U18 Boys Champion. Way to go.
Yeah.
With the trophy, yeah.
And with that, it's going to close out our coverage of the 2023 Parker Bohn the third scholarship tournament. Next year, the silver anniversary edition, Brandon, and
25th annual is wild.
And sounds like you're going to go over the $250,000 in total scholarships awarded since this tournament started next year. Easily get over that number. And, boy, you know, if you want to be part, if you're watching us and you're watching us on YouTube, and apologies, I'm a one-man switching booth. I know the chat was going on and things have been pretty busy, so if we didn't answer your questions in the chat, I sincerely apologize. But I'll tell you what, the people that watched on YouTube tonight, and whether they're watching in the archives, they got a lot of exciting bowling all day long in our 5 championships.
That they did. And one more thing before we close out the show here, I want to thank all of our sponsors again, once again, Brunswick, for helping us out for the 24th consecutive year, making this all possible, and everybody here at Howell Lanes, all of our sponsors. And thanks to you, Phil, for coming out here all the way from Wisconsin to putting on a show here for us and to give YouTube land a place where they can watch. So,
Absolutely. I mean, it's just a matter of, it's a great tournament. If you have a young youth bowler, and even though it might be a bit of distance, hey, it is Labor Day weekend. It's something where you can have a nice vacation. There's plenty of stuff to do on the off times here around Howell, New Jersey, and go visit the Jersey Shore and that type of thing. So mom and dad can go to Atlantic City and gamble if they want. So if you got a young player and they're looking to participate in one of, my opinion, best youth events, best youth tournaments in the country,
come on down to Howell Lanes.
Bring them here next year, absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to being part of that silver anniversary edition next year. As long as my legs keep working, and as long as my heart keeps beating, and you guys invite me, I'll be here.
Sounds good. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to have everybody else that is involved and everybody out there on YouTube. If you are eligible, please come out and join us for the 25th annual Parker Bohn III Scholarship Tournament.
Yeah, get all your information on all the awards this year, and get all your information on the dates for next year's PB3 tournament at parkerbohn3.com. That's parkerbohn, the number 3.com on the interwebs. And always, if you're on Facebook, there's the Parker Bohn III Scholarship Tournament page on there as well, where you'll get a lot of updated information as we get near that 2024 edition. Brandon, safe travels to you back to Florida tomorrow. Safe travels to your brother as well as he heads to
safe
Georgia.
Travels to you back to Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you and your time here this weekend. And I think that's it.
I think that's it. I think we're off the air. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend. And like we said, get your latest tournament information, get the whole tournament wrap-up at parkerbohn3.com. He's Brandon Bohn for the whole Bohn family, for all the tournament workers, for the staff here at Howell Lanes. I'm $2 Phil Brillo. Hey, parents, you know what? Take the kids bowling, because you can see it today. These kids are going to have fun for life. And we'll see you next year from Howell Lanes in New Jersey.